Hey, welcome to Pioneer with Poncelet with me, Kevin Poncelet. We've got Sram Hammer Time today, and let me tell you, it's a treat. We've got some interesting stuff going on. We've got Colossus Hammer. We've got Ensoul Artifact. We got Stubborn Denial. We got Sram, Senior Edificer. We've got Emery. We've got Ornithopter. We've got a lot of sweet blue and white legends and a lot of artifact and enchantment synergies. Basically, what we're trying to do is attack with a 5/5 or bigger on as early as turn 2, generally by turn 3, hopefully, and back that up with some cheap interaction, cheap counter magic. This hand is not quite good enough. We do have Ensoul and Darksteel Citadel, which is sometimes good enough. We also have Colossus Hammer. We can just turn it into a 5/5 with Ensoul. You know what? I am going to actually keep this. We're going to go turn 1 Colossus Hammer, turn 2 make it a 5/5. And depending on what our opponent does on turn 1 here. And then we have Stubborn Denial up starting on turn 3. And they're playing a Castle Garen Brig and passing the turn. So this might work out pretty well. Ooh, Emery is also pretty good. Suppose we might have a turn where we want to play 2 blue spells, but yeah, let's start with Hallowed Fountain. And we'll just cast the Colossus Hammer. Mostly because we don't have a Sigarda's Aid in our hand. Now, Colossus Hammer is pretty bad when we don't have Sigarda's Aid or Ensoul Artifact. But with Ensoul Artifact, we can turn it into a 5/5. With Sigarda's Aid, we can just put it on a creature, which gives that creature +10/+10. Pretty nice. And Sigarda's Aid also lets us use our equipment and our auras at instant speed. So that includes Ensoul Artifact, all that glitters, Cathar's Shield, all those hits. So I think we're going to lead with Emery this turn. I think that's what I want to do here. Yeah, we're just going to play Emery. I meant to play the Darksteel Citadel there, though. You know, I kind of overthought that. And then, yeah, I got to a place where I just did not make a play that I wanted to make. So at first we were going to put the Ensoul on the Colossus Hammer and just get in there for 5 here. Then I was thinking, I'll play a Darksteel Citadel and put it on that, so it's like not as easy to kill. But our opponent's clearly playing a ramp deck, and we probably should have just gotten the party started. We do want to hold Stubborn Denial up for every turn for the rest of the game here if we can help it. But yeah, I'm just going to Ensoul the Colossus Hammer now. We missed out on 5 damage last turn, but we do have the Emery in play, which could be good going forward. And the important thing is we just keep Stubborn Denial up for the rest of the game. They're going to try to resolve some Hour of Promises, some Ugins, if they can do it. Hopefully this is Hour of Promise. This is Pilgrimage. We're still kind of priced into Stubby D'ing. I didn't want to, but hopefully that wasn't the bait spell. All right. Those are pretty bad draws, but if we find a Sram, then they're pretty good draws. And also like an All That Glitters. They pump that up a bit as well. More Ensoul Artifacts. The Cheerios portion of our deck is only good with Sram, really. Sram and Emery in combination with Sram also. Seven mana from our opponent. World Breaker. Yeah, that's really bad. It exiles it. Oof. All right, World Breaker is really good. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I don't want these in my deck. They really don't do anything anymore. Wow. All right. So earlier iterations of this deck were playing Sai, and we did have Sai in the sideboard, but I actually took it out because it cost 3 and we're playing 18 lands, no Mox Ambers. But yeah, we just got kind of crushed there by, what was it, turn 5 World Breaker? I don't know. We just weren't going to win that game with the draws that we had, just lands and 0 drops. We have 8 of these in our deck, and they're the worst cards because they don't do anything on their own besides Sigarda's Aid. So they're good with Sigarda's Aid because we can like save our creatures from burn spells or like damage-based sweepers or -X type spells, which is a decent chunk of the removal in the format. But they're very bad without Sram and without Sigarda's Aid generally. They're just 0 mana do nothings basically. So they're a little awkward. Maybe we shouldn't be playing so many. Maybe we can trim some amount of those for some more impactful cards in a later version of this deck. But our opponent is on ramp, so we want all the counter magic we can muster. And they're also on green cards, so we probably want Ether Gust as well. Selfless Spirit doesn't do anything against World Breaker or Ugin, so probably not that good. It's more for Supreme Verdict. And yeah, when we're bringing in all these, I think we can bring down the grindy elements of our deck, like Emery. It's more of a grindy element, and probably some amount of the shields and yeah, some amount of the shields here. Yeah, let's go to 5. Let's see how that goes. I think we want all of these. We still have 12 creatures that we can equip with those and then just counter all their stuff. Basically, we want 5 damage-ish on the board on turn 2. And then we want to just like finish them off with a bunch of counter spells. This hand has a counter spell and has a couple creatures, but it doesn't have 5 damage. So we're going to mulligan. This one has All That Glitters plus Stubborn Denial and Ginger Brute. So we're going to keep this one. We're going to bottom one of the lands. Or we could bottom a Quarter Shield, but a Quarter Shield actually adds to the All That Glitters, so we're just going to keep it. Also, if we draw a Sram, the Quarter Shield is pretty good. Probably not going to need double white, so we can bottom this Hallowed Fountain. So with All That Glitters, a Quarter Shield, and Ginger Brute, we have a 4/4, which is going to turn on our Stubborn Denial. So that's good. Game plan, have a 4 or 5 power creature on turn 2 is ready to go. Let's get in there with the Ginger Brute. Yeah, game 1 I was A little off my game there, but I don't think it was going to matter too much. Our opponent's hand was quite good. And our Stubborn Denial did not buy us the amount of time that we needed with the cards that we were drawing. Ooh, Colossus Hammer. Well, that would be great if we find a Sigarda's Aid. Right now we're just gonna play a Quarter Shield and just kind of go all in. Try to get as much damage in as we can. If they have like a Shatter effect for 1 here, we just kind of lose. That's just what's gonna happen. But we might as well get as much damage in as possible. We could potentially win the game next turn with a Sigarda's Aid. It is lethal. It's not a Sigarda's Aid, but that does pump our Gingerbrute a bit. And Colossus Hammer will also pump it. But I'm going to hold that because it's a 3-turn clock either way. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to play the hammer there. Because if we draw another creature at some point and a Sigarda's Aid, we could put the hammer on that creature. Also, if we draw a Sram, the hammer at least redraws. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Let's do that. Yeah, we can't kill them this turn. And we're just going to hold up Stubborn Denial. And then kill them next turn. No reason to attack with the other Gingerbrute. Hopefully they play a non-creature spell that we can counter, or something that's inconsequential that is a creature spell. That one we can counter. And we did what we wanted to do. Cool thing about Gingerbrute is it's very hard to block. So Gingerbrute with an All That Glitters gets the job done pretty quickly. So yeah, game plan, have a counterspell and a 4/4 worked out. I don't think we want to do anything different for game number 3 here. I think, yeah, we just want all 9 of our counterspells to be at the ready. I could see maybe playing like an Emery as a way to like recur an Ornithopter, or just like have more threats, or like Colossus Hammer instead of one of the Ether Gusts. But I think having as many outs to our promise as possible is probably correct. So yeah, let's just run it back. Our opponent is an Ugin deck, an Ugin and Worldbreaker deck. They're just trying to ramp up and play a really busted 7 or 8 mana spell on like turn 5. And it's pretty powerful. Generally, those spells are very hard to beat once they resolve. So yeah, pretty good deck. Even though it doesn't have Field of the Dead anymore, still a pretty good deck. Still does things. So this hand doesn't quite do it. If this was a Sigarda's Aid, I would keep this hand and be very happy about it. But it's an All That Glitters, so we're going to mulligan. And we're going to mulligan again because that hand has no lands. Oh, wow. That sucks. Well, we're on 4 cards, so I guess we're going to keep this one. Just no lands. I mean, we're only playing 18, but we've had 1 hand or 2 hands with 1 land and 2 hands with no lands out of our 4 7s this game, which is pretty disappointing. We're going to drop Sigarda's Aid. all that glitters, I think, and Ensoul Artifact, and just hopefully draw a land and draw some cards off these shields. But this is this is really bad. This is really unfortunate. Alright, well that's a land. But it doesn't tap for white. We need a land that taps for white now. That is a land that taps for white. It doesn't tap for white quite yet. But that's good. That's a start. So we could play, instead of Glacial Fortress, we can play Spire of Industry. And I was thinking about doing that, but I was thinking Glacial Fortress might be better. And I didn't consider Darksteel Citadel being in our deck now. And like Ornithopter, which make it a lot easier to... Ooh, I shouldn't have played that land yet. That was wrong. Those are a couple of pretty good draws. I think I am going to play Ginger Brute here. And that way we could potentially cast both of these spells next turn. Oh, they're just going to use the Ballista right now. Okay. Those were two really good draws. So we actually have a chance here. I sequenced wrong, though. I shouldn't have played the land first in case we found like a Stubborn Denial or something. All right. Making land drops, casting spells. Making more land drops. This is a lot of lands in play on turn 4. 7 lands in play on turn 4. This is very, very, very bad for us. We need a counterspell stat. That's not a counterspell, but it could find us a counterspell. Ooh, yeah, we got there. Unfortunately, we only have one source of blue/white. So if we want to like make Sram into something that can actually attack, we can't hold up our counterspell. And our counterspell is currently only going to counter something unless they pay 1. So it's really not that good. I think we're going to Ensoul this. Draw a card. Pass the turn. I mean, we could have found another blue source there with the card we drew. And then we'd be in pretty good shape. I think we're just going to get Ugin here. But they might not have it. This looks like they have it. Yeah. Ugin sacrificing Sanctum of Ugin. Pretty good flavor there. At least we get to keep our other stuff. Ooh, so close. we had one more land, we could play Gingerbrute, equip it, or cast all that glitters on it, and then give it protection and kill Ugin. Instead, we have to just pass the turn. What did they get with the... They got a World Breaker. Yeah, we can't really beat World Breaker, but I guess we could race it. Maybe they're just going to kill like a Cathar Shield or whatever, and that's not so bad. I suppose we might as well play Sigarda's Aid. And maybe they'll kill that with the World Breaker, and that's fine. All right. So we've got a game plan, which is draw a land. Any non-glacial fortress land will do. That might be something we can change. This is a very new build of this deck. Very new deck. That I've been working on different iterations of this deck for a while, but not like in leagues. Not in like stiff competition like this, just mostly in between rounds during PTQs and stuff. I'll mess around and try to build this deck and try to get it good. But this is my newest build, which is going a little more underneath, but holding on to some of my previous like eggs type versions with the Accorder Shield and the Cathar Shields, which might just not be correct. We might want to just be playing more cheap artifact creatures. They went with -1 on Ugin. And this is Pilgrimage, okay? So they want to wait with the World Breaker, clearly. Pulse of Marasa getting back Sanctum of Ugin. Jeez. Wow. That's gross. That is super gross. Sram is okay. Yeah, no land. No nothing. Let's just scoop him up here. Opponent way too far ahead. Ugin is kind of good. Hello. Welcome to Pioneer with Poncelet with me, Kevin Poncelet. Today we've got a sweet little brew for you. I'm calling it Srammer Time. It's going to use this card, Colossus Hammer, with Sram Senior Edificer and Sigarda's Aid to create a giant creature as early as possible and get our opponent dead. This hand is very bad. It just has a couple of hammers and all that glitters. So we're going to look for a better one. And here we've got a much better one. We're going to keep this one. The idea behind this deck is you're going to either play Sram early and draw some cards off of our 0 mana equipment, 1 mana equipment. Play Emery early to like find some equipment and some power cards. Cast some Ornithopters to put the equipment on. Ensoul Artifact and All That Glitters and Colossus Hammer are basically our win conditions. We have 4 of each, so we're going to just try to get those cards onto some other creatures or onto some non-creature artifacts in the case of Ensoul Artifact, and just get the job done, just smash them dead as early as turn 3, hopefully. Let's see, we've got probably going to drop a land here. We don't really need 3 lands with this hand, and we don't really need double blue or double white ever, so I think we're just going to take the basics in case they're a burn deck. Although I guess on turn 1 there we could have just played the Hollowed Fountain anyway. Springleaf Drum. All right, that's unfortunate we drew that on turn 2. But we're going to get the party started with Sram here. Just getting some free value. Ginger Brute, our opponent doing something pretty similar to us. But they're on the blue-red version. And it looks like they missed their land drop, but they do have a Springleaf Drum, so not under the worst amount of problems there. Pretty sure here we just want to play an Ensoul Artifact on a Quarter Shield and maybe play our own Ginger Brute. Maybe attack with it. Could have also waited playing the Glacial Fortress for a turn there. Yeah, I think I do want to attack with Ginger Brute. I'm just going to swing out here. Pretty decent turn 3 for us. We've got 8 power coming in. Ensoul Artifact was a really good draw. It also draws us a card with Sram. So the Ensoul Artifacts, all that glitters, all the 0 mana artifacts that can turn into 5/5s with Ensoul Artifact, all draw us cards with Sram. Sram, that's why it's called Srammer Time. Sram is a big part of what makes the deck powerful. Opponent pay 2 life. And maybe attempting a skilled animator here. That is exactly what they've got. Sure. Got your own 5/5, friend. No attacks. All right. They just want to trade with a Quarter Shield, it looks like. Let's see what we hit with this Emery first. We found a Cathar Shield, which is great. It's going to draw us a card next turn. I think I'm actually fine with trading, but I do want to hold up Stubborn Denial, and Stubborn Denial is turned off by our 5/5 dying. So I'm having second thoughts. Yeah, I think we're in the lead here, considering life totals and the fact that we're going to draw some cards whenever we want to with the Emery and the Sram in play. I think because of that, we can like grind them out a bit here, find some more All That Glitters and Ensoul Artifacts, and counter their Shrapnel Blasts, their Ensoul Artifacts. So I think what we want to do here is just chill, just let them make the next move. They have a lot more cards than us in hand, but we can easily match that with a few extra draws from Sram. Like Ghostfire Blade. I think I'm just going to Stubborn Denial that. We're not sure if they're going to cast anything else that we can counter this turn. They might just be on a creature draw otherwise. So I'm kind of happy to Stubborn Denial that. Just gives me something to do with my mana there and my Stubborn Denial. Another Ghostfire Blade, okay. That's a card we could play in our deck, maybe instead of all these Quarter Shields. It's probably pretty good. They decided to make that Ginger Brute a 3/3 and pass the turn. Okay. Ornithopter's sweet. I'm into it. We're going to cast this Cathar Shield first things first. Draw a card. Hallowed Fountain. All right. I mean, this Colossus Hammer does represent a game-ending attack if we're able to put it on Ornithopter. So we just need to find a Sigarda's Aid to do that. So I don't really think we need to. I mean, I do think we want to trade now, because If we trade, then we can recast this a quarter shield next turn with Emery. I think that's pretty good. We can also just put a Cathar shield on the a quarter shield and attack with an 8 toughness creature, but that's not that good because they can double block. Yeah, let's just play this tapped. Okay. Just attack with the quarter shield here. That's fine with me. Play Ornithopter. And yeah, let's see what happens here. They've got their own Ornithopter. That means they're able to block ours. Even if we do find the Sigarda's aid. But we have another redraw next turn, and they've only got 3 cards left. They're going to Ensoul that one, making it a 7/7. Alright, pretty strong. I think I'm going to block sack with a Ginger Brute here. We don't need 2 Ginger Brutes in play. We also don't really need 20 life. We can go to 13, but they are a blue-red deck, which means they do have Shrapnel Blast. If their last 2 cards are both Shrapnel Blast, then that's pretty scary. I'd like to go to 23. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to 23. Does something with our mana too, which is kind of nice. We can also recast the Ginger Brute with the Emery. So not much lost there. Ghost Fireblade moves over to Ornithopter. Got it. Ensoul Artifact. That is quite good. I think the first thing we want to do is cast a quarter shield for free. Draw a card, see if we find Sigarda's aid. Nope. We'll cast Ensoul now on the Ornithopter, I think. That way we have a giant Ornithopter. There's a 2/4, ours is a 5/5. Go ahead and play this land. We could even equip ours with a quarter shield. I think that's what we're going to do. Get in there for 5 with Vigilance here. Yeah, that feels really good. All right. So yeah, Sram has just been doing everything for us here. Sram and Emery have created this loop of redraws, which has been really good. Bomat Courier, you got it. So now they have their own 7/7 Ornithopter, and they're attacking with Bomat Courier. So they're just going to sacrifice it, yeah. Just to draw 1 card here. I guess that's all it was going to do anyway. Quarter shield is a good redraw. There's another Sram. That's fine. Let's cast Emery first. See what we hit. 4 more deep. All that glitters Cathar shield. Let's do it. Draw another card. Another Cathar shield. Let's do that too. Just chaining them. All right. Well, we don't have good attacks until we find a way to equip this Colossus Hammer. Which, I mean, if we keep making land drops, eventually we'll be able to just equip it. And it's likely that we'll keep making land drops because we keep redrawing, and this redraws as well, but we don't have to use it quite yet. We can just pass here. I mean, we might as well equip. Might as well equip Ornithopter with another one. Yeah, why not? So it's important to note that like these Cathar and a quarter shields are pretty bad without Sram, and I'm not sure that our deck is built correctly. Can't be blocked except for by creatures with haste. Sure. I'll just take that hit. We got some life to spare. Oh, they're just gonna scoop. Okay. Well, yeah, we could have cast a third one there. We should have cast a third one there. Yeah, we absolutely should have cast a third one and attacked for 3 unblockable. But our opponent scooped anyway, because that's what we should have done. So Ether Gust is good against specifically Shrapnel Blast. Very good against Shrapnel Blast. I think Stubborn Denial makes more sense though. It's good against Shrapnel Blast and also just good in general in this matchup. They have a lot of non-creature spells that are going to deal a lot of damage to us, like Ensoul Artifact and Ghostfire Blade and things like that. I wonder that if we should be not playing 8 of these Cathar Shield things and be playing 4 Ghostfire Blades. It's probably the case, but Ghostfire Blade doesn't attach to Sram or Emery very well, just Ornithopter and Gingerbrute and the Ensouled creatures. So I guess that's 12 things that it attaches to really well, but maybe that's not enough. Maybe we'd have to also play like Stone Coil Serpent instead of the other quarter shields, at which point maybe Sram isn't that good. But I mean, he's also still pretty good with all that glitters and Ensoul Artifact and Colossus Hammer. So maybe not bad, but maybe he gets trimmed in some numbers if we're not playing 8 of these. We'll see. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly we want to be doing with this deck, including this particular sideboarding decision. So I think I'm going to drop a couple of these and just run it like that. It's very possible that this is a better main deck configuration with the 4 stubborn denials and just not having all 8 quarter shields in our deck in general. It's also possible we want some amount of Spider's Silk or Spiders. I think it's Spider's Silk. The other zero mana equipment that's in Pioneer. It was in my previous builds of the deck that were more all in on like Sai and Sram. This one's more all in on beating our opponent down. But we're up a game here. And this hand is a keep. got both our colors. We've got Gingerbrute. Gingerbrute not great against Bomat Courier and opposing Gingerbrutes, but not a card we can really board out. Not in this matchup, at least. So next turn we're likely playing in... No, we're probably just casting Emery. Probably just 2 mana Emery next turn. Mutavault. So they fit Darksteel and Mutavault in that deck. Maybe that's something we can do as well. We just don't have as much fixing though, because we don't get a fast land in blue-white. That's a pretty good start for them. Just going to cast Emery here. Another Gingerbrute. Sigarda's aid went down. That's unfortunate. Don't really want to go to 7, but we can potentially draw a land next turn and play our 3 0-drops and all that glitters and have a big Gingerbrute. And hold up Stubborn Denial. We'll see if it works out that way. Lava Coil on Emery. Okay, that's okay. Doesn't really change what we were going to do. We did draw the land. We do get to do the things. And we're going to attack. Ooh. So we attacked, but they have 7 with the Mutavault. But maybe they won't go for it. I wanted to attack because I wanted to hold up, a quarter shield next turn and attack for 7 again. But now we're just dead if they activate the Mutavault. But maybe they thought that we would have an answer for it, even though we don't. It was a mistake, but... Cast Gingerbrute, you got it. Cast Springleaf Drum, that resolves. So we're at 2. We just have to pass here. And yeah, it was quite a bad attack last turn. Pretty big punt. Didn't really think it through. Luckily, they didn't just kill us, but we're still in a position that we can't really win from. All right. Yeah, we shouldn't have attacked the turn before last. Whoops. Ornithopter wasn't going to do very much. Sram would have been decent. We wanted a Sigarda's aid. think we just run it back. Starboard Denial is pretty good. The Quarter Shield, Cathar Shield's not that great. So we have turn 2 Sram with a Quarter Shield, so I think we're just going to keep it. Hopefully they can't kill our Sram. But even if they kill it right away, we're still going to draw 1 card off of it, so it's pretty fine. And we can put an Ornithopter into play on turn 1, potentially draw an Ensoul Artifact on turn 2 and start beating down. Or even an All That Glitters is pretty good. Ooh, excuse me. Unfortunate that we have 2 Glacial Fortresses. It's very possible we should be playing Spire of Industry instead. And maybe even fitting a couple Mutavaults in the deck. Stone Coil Serpent. Yeah, that's pretty good. There's a hammer. We just need a Sigarda's Aid now. No good reason to wait with this other Ornithopter. So we're just going to play it. Goes Fireblade, go, huh? Okay. That's good for us. Ginger Brute is sweet here. Let's lead with Emery, see how this goes. Cathar Shield, great hit. I guess we could have attacked with Ginger Brute and just hoped that they blocked. I think that would have been fine, actually. Yeah, I think I should have attacked with Ginger Brute there. Alright, so they found the land. They're probably going to Ensoul. Yeah. And a 6/6 is quite good here. I doubt they're they're attacking. That's bold. That's quite bold. Alright. I think... Well, I guess it has trample, so maybe... Why not, right? Why not? Let's draw something good here. Like a Sigarda's Aid. Or an Ensoul. That's also very, very good. So this thing has reach, but it can't ever block Ginger Brute. So I suppose we should throw it on Ginger Brute. I mean, Darksteel obviously is great, but they can just block that forever. And they can't block Ginger Brute, so... Another one. Nice. Very good. Yeah, we'll raise. Mutavault doesn't have haste, but them drawing 2 lands in a row is very good for them. So I suppose we could Ensoul on the Darksteel Citadel. Just as a forever blocker, we could throw a Quarter Shield on it eventually. And it just attacks and blocks every turn if it wants. Very hard for them to deal with that. Don't know if they have any bounce, like maybe Brazen Borrower. But something like that is like all they could really have. They could also Ensoul their own Darksteel here, but that doesn't have haste, so it's not going to be blocking Gingerbrute. They're coming in. Maybe they have double Shrapnel Blast. All right. Hope of Gearper. Okay. So I want to cast Ensoul now so that we draw a card, but I also want another Gingerbrute to be Ensouled, because that means they just die. Like, we could just kill them right now if we had 2 more lands. And if they don't have a Shrapnel Blast. So if they have Shrapnel Blast and they equip Ghost Fireblade on Stone Coil Serpent, so clearly they did this on purpose and did not equip. So they very likely have Shrapnel Blast. Maybe even 2. And maybe we're just dead. I mean, if they have double Shrapnel Blast, we are just dead. Unless we hold back 2 mana to go up to 11. And even then, we just don't have it. Yeah, I'm going to Ensoul the Darksteel. Which did draw us a land, which is big time. Gonna get in there with this Gingerbrute, putting them to ostensibly 5. Gonna hold back with the Citadel. And we're gonna cast another Ornithopter here and just like block that Stone Coil Serpent with everything. Do they have a Shrapnel Blast? They do. Targeting the Gingerbrute. Okay. That's okay. Ooh. 10-10. That's bad for us. You attacking? Oh, if they attack, then we just win. Yeah. All right. We'll just go to 3. And then we kill them with our Gingerbrute. And that's 9. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got him. All right. Well, that was a close one. And I think had our opponent just taken the 5 and attempted to Shrapnel Blast us to death, maybe they would have done better there. Maybe not. Maybe if they like Shrapnel Blast us, we go to 3. Then we have to block with like all the Ornithopters. I don't know. I guess we weren't dead, but they gave them the out of top decking another shrapnel blast and killing us. But they were just hoping we didn't have a way to deal more damage that turn, which I don't hate that decision. Because if we don't there, then we can only attack for like 3. All right, welcome to round 2 here with Srammer Time. Here we've got a hand we can't keep because it has no lands. Here we've got another hand we can't keep because it doesn't do anything. And once again, we have a hand we can't keep because it doesn't do anything. All right, this one we can keep. And we're going to drop the second plains. We're going to drop I have to put 3 cards down. That's so many cards. Woof. Yike. Okay. Well, Mahamoti 4 is terrible. Alright, punished. Punished pretty hard there. For keeping 2 lands. But we really need 2 lands to like do things. Alright, that's good. That means we can cast Emery on turn 2. Maybe find a hammer. Cathar Shield, no, that's not good. We bottomed a hammer. If we would have just kept that hammer and drawn these 2 lands, we would have been in, not good shape. It looks like we're playing against Jeskai Control, which is probably our worst matchup. Jeskai and like Esper and blue-black and blue-white, all those combinations of control decks gotta be terrible. And they kind of already know what's going on here. They whiffed with their Emery. Their Narset, that is. I think we're just going to attack Narset with Emery. That way, if we find a Sram at some point and some more aura or equipment spells, we can actually draw some cards. And casting Cathar's Shield here just doesn't do anything. Well, it might, actually. They are a red control deck, so they could have a shock. But I think it's more important to get Narset off the board. They took a Detention Sphere, but they're passing the turn. Interesting. Well, knowing they have Detention Sphere, I definitely don't want to go for anything. But they missed their land drop. They're just waiting to see if we do something more powerful, I guess. But we're definitely not going to be the first ones to act here. Or I guess with this we could. So, hold on. Here we can cast Sigarda's Aid. Cast All That Glitters, which gives it plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus 5 goes to 6. Plus 10, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't quite have lethal. And if we go all in, they're just going to detention spirit. So that's not very good. We can hope they tap out and then just go all in later. Potentially draw another artifact we can cast and then deal 18. I think we only have 17 with another artifact, but I could be wrong. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 10. Yeah, so we're at 16 right now. So it would only be 17, but they just shocked. Cast it to Fairy or something. Fires of Invention, that's great. That's really good for us. 5 mana spell. What's it gonna be? I hope it's a Chandra. And they try to kill Emery with Chandra here. To Fairy. They can't cast spells on my turn, right? So they're just dead? They're just dead. Nice. Hey, you can untap 2 lands. You can cast spells only during your turn. You can cast no more than 2 spells each turn. Yep. They cast 2 spells this turn, right? There's no reason not to do this. And you're dead. A little 16. Just 16, yeah, out of nowhere. Why not? Pretty happy with that. Nobody expects to get hammered, you know? That's not true. Some people expect to get hammered, but our opponent there was not expecting to get hammered. Stubborn Denial is going to come in. We're going to get 4 of those. We're going to drop a couple of these Quarter Shield, Cathar Shield things. And it seems like Ether Gust is pretty good against Fires of Invention. And Metallic Rebuke is probably fine as well. Selfless Spirit, probably pretty good here. So what else are we cutting? We could probably trim maybe all the rest of the Cathar Shield and the Quarter Shields. It's just we don't want to have none of them. Maybe we don't need the Ether Gusts and we just Stubborn Denial the fires so we don't have to dilute our game plan too much and we can just have 3 of these. That seems fine. Not that many artifacts for Emery now to hit, but still, what is it, 7 plus 8 is 15. Still 15 artifacts that Emery can recast, which is pretty good. It's a quarter of the deck. I guess that's fine. All right. This hand does not have any blue source to go with this Ensoul Artifact, so we're not going to keep it. I do think Ensoul on Darksteel is very good in this matchup. I know they have Detention Sphere, but it's still going to be very good otherwise. But yeah, we're going to mulligan this. We have Sigarda's Aid, we have a Quarter Shield, we have Stubby D. I'm going to keep this on the draw and bottom the Plains, I think. And I'm going to lead with Sigarda's Aid. So that we can Ginger Brute. Maybe they'll try to shock it. Fiery Impulse, whatever it is. And we'll just be able to throw in a quarter shield on it, which will feel really good. Not sure what people are putting in these Jeskai Fires decks. Oh, that's a draw. That's quite a good draw. Looks like it's hammer time once again, folks. Oh. Oh no. Yeah, we're just gonna swing for 10. We could have waited. And seen if we draw another land. Or just like waited a turn so we could hold up Stubborn Denial. But since we have another one, I wanted to do it now and just like draw another creature later and do that. We're swinging 11, that is. So a little turn 2, you're at 9. No big deal. All right, they might have a Teferi. Yeah, they do. That's okay, though, because we're just going to kill them. The game is over. All right. All right. Sometimes you hammer your opponent dead, and they die. Let's get in there. We dealt 22 damage on turn 3 through a Teferi. Not bad. Not bad. All right, how's it going? Welcome to round 3 with Srammer Time. We've got Ornithopter and Emery here to go with Ensoul and All That Glitters and Sigarda's Aid. So we're going to keep this. This is a pretty good hand. I'd like to get the Sigarda's Aid into play there, but we just can't because Glacial Fortress comes into play tapped. I wonder if those Glacial Fortresses should just be Spire of Industry or like some amount of them. All right, Thoughtseize is pretty good here. Slows us down a bit. Sram. I think I just want to play Emery. Oof, we whiffed. Ouch. But the good thing about whiffing is that we're that much closer to the next 0-drop artifact or cheap artifact. Ooh, another Thoughtseize. Probably take All That Glitters. Because Sram doesn't do anything right now. Yeah, a little double Thoughtseize hand. Thoughtseize is rough. I've been the one playing Thoughtseize a lot lately, so hasn't been as bad for me, but yeah, Thoughtseize is pretty powerful. 0-drop. All the glitters. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cast Sram. Attack for 1. Those 2 Thoughtseize really really hurt us. Really slowed us down a bit. Abrupt Decay on Sram. Whoa, Jund. Straight up Jund. Let's try this Sram thing again. Read them bones. Read the bones. Pretty good divination if you're gonna play divination. Pretty strong. Pretty strong. The losing 2 life part, not great for our opponent there, but gonna put this on, I guess, Ornithopter to give us more damage overall, or just like more threats that attack. Oops. And I'm gonna play the Sigarda's Aid just to deal 1 more damage here. Also plays around Languish-ish. I mean, the Ornithopter being a 3/5 does play around Languish, and same thing with casting Sigarda's Aid to turn it into a 3/5. But Languish is still pretty bad for us here. Could have put the All That Glitters on Emery just to make it harder to Fatal Push. And I wouldn't have hated that either. It doesn't actually deal more damage to put it on Ornithopter. It just diversifies our threats a little more. But Emery only attacking for 1 means it's not a great threat. But the fact that Ornithopter has flying is probably the tiebreaker there. Ooh, Courser, but they already played their land, so cool, cool. Yeah, bummer that we never hit an artifact with Emery, nor did they take an artifact out of our hand. Kind of strange, actually. Alright, so they're going to 4. They've got 6 mana. I'm scared. Kalitas. Don't kill a creature. Don't kill a creature. Don't kill... Oh, man. Well, at least we can recast Ornithopter. And we can go get a Plains here. But they have a lifelink creature now, and a creature that's gaining them life every turn. Either way. Ensoul Artifact is good. It's good. Oh, never mind. We can't recast the Ornithopter because Kalitas was in play, and it exiles it. That's a bummer. I guess we're going to save the Ensoul for... for a Ginger Brute. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. but I don't think we can win now. Search your library for a card and put that card in your hand for 5 mana. Whoa. Whoa. What are they doing? Dark Petition. There I go, very big Jund deck. Yeah. Sure. Not cool. I do want to draw a card, so I think I'm just going to cast this now. Could have cast a Quarter Shield there too, and should have. But we do have another Sram. Ooh, Stubby D. That's a really good draw. All right. Are we still in this? We have this Vigilance 11-14. Doing some stuff. I wonder what they went and got with the Dark Petition. Was it the Fatal Push? Was it the Trophy? Might have been. Damn, they just keep drawing cards off this Courser. Oh wow, they're playing Fires of Invention Jund. That's so different. I like it with Dark Petition though, that's cool. Makes sense. Dark Petition. That resolves. I want them to get this off the board. Or get this out of the top of their deck. I'd rather they had something else, yeah, like a swamp. And I'll just counter whatever they got. No way can you have this Casualties of War. No thank you. Good try though, sir. Or miss. Or non-binary. Ooh, Ginger Brute. These. I guess we might as well make Sram a little bigger. Ooh, they're just jumping with Kalitas. Whoa. Okay, great. Languish on top. Don't care about Languish very much. They conceded? No way we won that game. Oh, wow. Oh yeah, that was sweet. That's what we play Magic for, is those types of games. What? How? Stubborn denial. Your casualties of war. Thank you very much. Can I have another? Wow. Stubborn denial is very good in this matchup. Selfless Spirit, not great against Languish, so we're not going to bring Selfless Spirit in. It's good against Abrupt Decay and Assassin's Trophy, but Devout Decree kills Kalitas and any black planeswalkers they might be playing. But I think it's more important that we just counter what they're doing rather than Devout Decree. Also, Devout Decree doesn't kill fires, whereas Metallic Rebuke can counter Kalitas, fires, all of it. So I think we want Metallic Rebuke instead, and I think we can trim a bunch of these shields and another... Yeah, a bunch of these shields are going to come out. And yeah, otherwise I think we just run it back. Taking out some of the shields and bringing in Metallic Rebuke's a little weird, so maybe we go to 4. And maybe we just bring in 2 Metallic Rebukes. Since we need the artifacts to improvise out the Metallic Rebuke. Not that you need to. I mean, you can cast this card for 2, you can cast it for 3. And that's fine. Rest in Peace is pretty good against Dark Petition, but I'm not sure how good it is against their deck in general. This hand is playable because it has 2 counter spells, but it doesn't have a 5/5 of any sort, nor does it have a Sram or an Emery, so I'm just going to mulligan and look for something a little better. This one does have a Sram and potentially a turn 2 5/5. I'm going to keep this. Yeah, I'm just going to keep this and bottom of Stubborn Denial. We do need to draw lands, but we have 2 draw steps before we need a land. And they're Thoughtseize deck. Hopefully we can find one. Well, Sigarda's Aid's good. I'll take it. Land off the top, blue land specifically, or I mean, white land would be fine too, honestly. Any land off the top would be great. Even Darksteel Citadel. Ginger Brute, not what we were looking for, but it plays. It attacks, it deals 1. Alright, they're getting closer and closer to Languish mana. That's not good for us. Yeah, if they're reading the bones here, we're very likely going to see a Languish next turn. So let's try and get this Ensoul Artifact in play, or at least draw a blue source so we can Stubborn Denial the Languish. But we're very likely to just Ensoul the Ginger Brute. If we do draw the blue source, we did. We in fact did. So if we play Sram, we just get got by Languish, and we just really can't afford to do that. So it's got to be Ensoul on the Ginger Brute here. Alright, they're instantly cracking that, which means they probably have fires. Now, Ritual of Soot. That's much better than Languish. Okay. They're diversifying their interaction. I can't say I blame them. That's really good there. That's probably the game. So it seems like their deck probably has a very hard time with an Ensouled Darksteel Citadel. I think all their removal that we've seen so far is Destroy or -4/-4. So yeah, I think they have a very hard time with an Ensouled. They went and got a Thoughtseize, huh? I guess they still have 5 cards in their hand. Why not? Why not? Oof. Wow. Okay. Opponent just wrecking our hand with the Collective Brutality there. Yeah, might as well play a second Sigarda's 8, I guess. So this Colossus Hammer is very good if we find a Gingerbrute. Number 2. Or really any creature, I guess. But Fires of Invention, plus their deck seems to be filled with Dark Petitions and Razaketh's Rights. So it looks like they're going to be able to do basically whatever they want for the rest of the game, which is pretty strong here. Just whatever 2 spells they want to cast each turn, they will cast. They're having to think about it, though. So apparently there's some good ones, which bodes very well for us. I mean, very, very poorly for us, that is. Mastermind's Acquisition. Our opponent is doing some stuff, let me tell you. We've got Dark Petitions. We got Mastermind's Acquisitions. We've got Razaketh's Rights. There was a move in Tony Hawk called Assume the Position. A special move. Anyway, I was just trying to rhyme a little bit. I think we're just gonna... Well, we'll see what they're doing, I guess. Let's let them have their fun for one more turn. Just, for entertainment value here. We are never winning this game, but we somehow won game 1, so we get to play game 3, regardless. Oh, seasons passed. Yeah, okay. That's pretty good. We're never beating that in a million years. So, yeah, let's go ahead and scoop. So, seasons past, Fires of Invention, Jund. That makes sense that they're playing seasons past. Very, very go big Jund. So, countering seasons past sounds really good with either guest, and countering or bouncing Fires of Invention also seems pretty good. Yeah, Ether Gust is probably just good. And the shields, probably not as good. Selfless Spirit is good against... let's get the Metallic Rebukes, actually, and let's maybe play Selfless Spirit. It's more threats, and it's also good against a lot of their removal. Not against Languish, but against Ritual of Soot, it's very good. We should make sure to prioritize putting all that glitters not on Selfless Spirit if we can help it, so that we can sack Selfless Spirit and keep our thing alive. For Emery with only 16 artifacts is a little bit bad, but I think it's fine. Maybe we can trim an Emery or 2. Yeah, maybe we trim 2 Emerys. Maybe that's the move. Yeah. Let's run it like that. Because Emery's is like always going to be a 2-drop now. So we kind of cut 2 2-drops for 2 2-drops. Can't keep that. It's got no lands. Can't keep that. It's got no lands. That's unfortunate. Mulling to 5 on the play here. Mulling to 4. Huh. Sometimes Magic's really hard. We have to mull so much with this deck. Yeah. Well, I guess that's how we're going to do it. Hopefully they don't have a Thoughtseize, because we definitely can't beat a Thoughtseize. Please don't Thoughtseize me. They kept 7. Well, that's not a Thoughtseize. So that's great. That's really great. Hopefully we can draw some more auras or equipment and chain some action here. That counts. That certainly counts. Collective Brutality would be collectively brutal right now out of our opponent. That's also very good. All right, so we've drawn pretty well after mulling to 4. Hopefully we can keep it up. Don't have the Collective Brutality. Oh, nice. Cycle Razaketh's right. That's really good for us. They kept 7 real quickly, but it looks like their hand might not be that good. I want to find an island here. Oh, we can't find an island. Damn. I'd actually feel like we had this game sewn up if we found an island there. Instead, we're not out of the woods yet, even on this mull to 4, but we've drawn, what is it, three cards, so we're kind of back to 7. Sram just kind of totally erased our mulligans. And we attacked our opponent for 7 on turn 3 on a mull to 4. Gotta tell you, it's been a lot worse on mull to 4s. It's been a lot worse, even on 7 cards. Thoughtseize is a little late, huh? It's a little late for that. But it's still timely enough, I guess. Another Ginger Brute. So they could have a board wipe. In which case, maybe I want to save this Ginger Brute and just play the Sigarda's Aid. Probably do, I guess. Because it's not lethal, right? Yeah, no, it's 8. Putting them to 3. If we would have attacked with Ginger Brute, I'd rather not just get ritualed here. We're probably going to get Ritual of Sooted. Looks like our opponent might miss their land drop, though. Whoa! We just won on a mull to 4 against Jund. Tons of removal. I think our opponent kept a pretty bad 7, though. Yeah, I think they kept a really risky 7 that just didn't do anything. Whew. Dun 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 dun. It's Srammer time. What's up, y'all? Round 4. Srammer time. And guess what time it is? That's right. It's Srammer time. This hand's great. We've got turn 2 attack you for 10. So we're going to keep. Could even be more than 10. That's a good start for us. Not that scared of a Thraben Inspector. I guess they could have Deck and Stone, so I don't want to play both the Ornithopters. We're just gonna play one for now. So Colossus Hammer removes flying from your creature. So the way it works with Sigarda's aid is you attack, wait for them to not block, and then after blocks, you can put the Colossus Hammer on your creature with the Sigarda's aid trigger, and then you basically get in there unblocked. But, ooh, it's the flash deck, so they probably have Brazen Borrower, so this is going to be a little bit more difficult. We did draw the land, so we can Stubborn Denial the Swift End. So I think we will. Let's attack. Let's do it. You take 10? Oh, you just take 10. So they could have Deck and Stone still, but I'm going to play this Ornithopter because we can Stubborn Denial the Deck and Stone. It's a little turn 2, 10. You, opponent, crack your clue, you got it. What have they got in store for us on turn 3? Oh, they're playing Bant. They are playing Bant. So I'd really like to hold up Stubborn Denial, but they might just have like Reflector Mage type things. In which case, it might be nice to just get in for 5 right now with the Ornithopter. They could now have found Brazen Borrower and Swift End, but I think I'm just going to go for the Ensoul, considering we have another Cathar Shield we could equip. Or we could Ensoul next turn. Just getting in for 5 right now sounds pretty good. And Vigilance doesn't really matter here, so I'm not going to play that. They did find the Swift End, it looks like. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So I'd love to draw a land next turn so that we could play Ensoul Artifact and hold up Stubborn Denial for their Collected Company that they're probably going to try and cast. It's not going to be something we can do, though. Looks like. So instead, we're just going to attack with the Ornithopter. I guess and the other Ornithopter. And see how this goes. Since we can cast Ensoul Artifact at instant speed. Oh, they're just going to cast Brazen Borrower. Oh. Well then. I don't know what they could have for 1 mana that would be in their main deck, so we're just going to win. So this is, Sigarda's 8 does not seem like, a grade A magic card. And I totally am on board with anybody who feels that way. So it doesn't do anything on its own, but it does allow for some shenanigans. Like right there. Instant speed Ensoul Artifact. It's pretty good. Instant speed +10/+10. Not bad. Not bad. We went on turn 4 through a Swift End and a blocker. I can't say I'm upset about that. So our opponent is Bant. Probably Bant Company, but we're not sure. Some sort of Bant creature deck. What are we going to do about Bant creature deck? Probably want Stubborn Denial because I'm assuming they're playing for collected companies. Ether Gust. It looked like they were base white-blue based on what we saw. Maybe just splashing green for collected company. So I don't really want to bring in Ether Gust, even though it does counter collected company for a turn. So yeah, I think we're just going to bring in 2 stubby Ds and drop a couple of the shields. I do think that maybe this is a better configuration for the deck anyway, just like main deck having 4 Stubborn Denials and 3 of each shield. It seemed like every matchup we want all 4 Stubborn Denials. And obviously there are matchups where we want to take these out, but in those matchups we can bring in Ether Gusts and it frees up more space in our sideboard. And yeah, I think this was incorrect and we should change the deck going forward. But yeah, I think 8 was too many on the shields. But maybe we don't need any shields with this deck. It's just nice to have like a turn 2 Ensouled thing. And they play really well with Sram and Emery. But it's possible that we should just be playing like Stonecoil Serpent and Ghostfire Blade instead. And those might just be way better. Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised if Ghostfire Blade and Stonecoil were just way better than playing any of these. This hand is almost good. So turn 1 we can play Cathar Shield and Colossus Hammer, and then turn 2 we can play Emery, but I don't really want to do that. This hand is almost good though, because if we do get to turn 2, then we can just start drawing extra cards with Sram. I mean, get to land number 2, that is. But we're going to mulligan, looking for something a little bit better. Double Sram, still no 2 lands, but I guess we're going to 5. I mean, we went on a mull to 4 in the last match in game 3. So who knows, right? This hand also doesn't do anything, but we're just going to keep it because it actually has lands. And we're going to dump one of the Citadels. And one of the fortresses. We don't really need more than 2 lands. 2 lands is perfect, but we need 2 lands, basically. And we kind of want 3, because we want to be able to cast like a 2-drop and hold up a Stubborn Denial later. Alright, that's pretty solid. So we can have a big creature next turn. Hopefully they don't have a Reflector Mage, and they probably will, but... So, do we go for it? No. We just cast Emery here, I think. I don't think it's worth it to go for it into a Petty Theft. We can wait for maybe another blue source. Or just a blue source next turn that we're going to have untapped. And be able to stubby D the Petty Theft. And we hit some artifacts, which is great. We hit Ginger Brute and Cathar's Shield. So we're going to be able to cast some things with Emery. Sram would be a fantastic draw here with 2 shields at the ready and Stubborn Denial in hand with all that glitters. Three mana up past the turn. Probably Spell Queller. I guess this Ginger Brute. I don't have any interest in trying to all that glitters before Stubborn Denial. And I'm just going to get in there with Ginger Brute. We're going slow here. But I kind of want to hold up the Stubborn Denial. Not 100% sure that this is correct, but I don't know. Something tells me it's nice to be able to Stubborn Denial something on our opponent's turn. We don't know really what they're doing. We saw Thraben Inspector, we saw Bant Colored Lands, and we saw Brazen Borrower. We didn't actually see any other cards, so we don't really know what they're doing. Supreme Verdict. Well, I can't Stubborn Denial a Supreme Verdict, unfortunately. So that's a bummer. That's pretty good. Didn't expect that. Well, here's a 5/5. I don't know. I think we're so far behind at this point that I think we just need to try and beat down there. We could have attacked for 6, which, yeah, would have been a bit better. We could have just attacked for 1 and held up Stubborn Denial. Ooh, Knight of Autumn, jeez. Well, we couldn't do anything about that, so good beats. Supreme Verdict, Knight of Autumn. That's really good. So I guess we're going to bring in some amount of Selfless Spirits. Sram was a good draw. Another Stubby D, not ideal here. Yeah, we might actually take out a couple Stubby Ds for a couple Selfless Spirits in game 3. Since I still like Stubby D, it looks like they're mostly creatures and Supreme Verdicts, which is just a really strange combination of cards to have in your deck, but I'm sure the Supreme Verdict was in their sideboard, to be fair. Although it's possible they're like just full on mid range, just like a Bant mid range deck with like 6 mana planeswalkers or like, yeah, like Elspeth Sun's Champion, that kind of thing. They're having to think about it here before cracking their clue. I am very scared of Collected Company like right now. If they pass the turn and let me untap, then I'm much happier. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Because we just want to draw some cards anyway. Petty Theft. Ooh, Blue Source was such a good draw. Can't play that card fast enough. Now we actually have the hard stub. They could have Settled the Wreckage, but we have a Stubborn Denial for it. Yeah, basically, well, they could have Abyssin, but we will Stubborn Denial that. I wonder they didn't crack their clue because they wanted to cast Petty Theft and then cast their 3/1. Oh, they have something else. Another one. Metallic Rebuke. Metallic Rebuke? Oh, whoa. Because they have clues? What other artifacts are they playing? Okay. You got me. Metallic Rebuke is interesting. Are they just playing it as a 3-mana mana league? That's sometimes 2 mana with Raven Inspector? That's really something. It's really something. So we're taking 5 here. Plus they have a clue they can crack, so we're very far behind. But we could chain a couple auras / equipment and get right back in this. Potentially. These Stubborn Denials are awful at the moment, but... Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going to scoop to that. All right, that makes artifacts too, so that makes a little more sense with Metallic Rebuke. I mean, they're a green mid-range, green-blue mid-range deck. It makes a lot of sense that they're playing Oko. All right, this deck makes a little more sense to me now. It seems like we want Aethergust for Oko. Maybe just Metallic Rebuke is like a... Well, Aethergust can actually just get the Oko off the board, which is nice. At least for a turn. And they can just recast it, though. Yeah, maybe Aethergust isn't quite good enough. We didn't see any other green spells. It might just be Oko. Oh, I mean, there's also Night of Autumn. Maybe we want all the counter magic. And we probably want some amount of Selfless Spirit. And then we have way too many cards, so we just get rid of all these. 2 Aethergust, 2 Rebuke, 2 Selfless Spirit. And then all these Emeries with only 12 artifacts in our deck seems pretty bad. So I guess we can trim a couple Emeries and maybe play a couple 0 drops just to have something to do. Something to ensoul, something to pump all that glitters. But they're pretty bad. I guess they're good with Metallic Rebuke, though. So yeah, it gives us something to do with Emery. I guess we could cut the Aethergust and play another 2. Maybe another 1 and a Metallic Rebuke. Because Aethergust is a little bit narrow against them, yeah. I obviously do want to counter Oko, but... and Night of Autumn, but... we can just Metallic Rebuke those 2. So it's just a bit broader. I think I want to go with this. Like, hedge a little bit more. I think Aethergust is probably better suited for like a green beatdown deck, a green /red beatdown deck / burn, where like just bouncing that Chain Whirler or Soulscar Mage for a turn could be the difference in the game, or Lovestruck Beast or Questing Beast or whatever. That hand is no good. That hand is good. We're going to keep it. And we're going to bottom one of the lands. And it's going to be the plains. I don't think our life total is going to matter that much that we need to worry about the hollowed fountain. But yeah, I guess we could draw another counter spell at some point. I really want the double blue, so yeah. So if they don't have an answer on turn 1, then we're going to have Stubborn Denial up. Well, on turn 2, then we're going to have Stubborn Denial up post that, and we're going to have this 5/5 flyer. So we could wait a turn. If we draw a land here, we can just wait and then have the Stubborn Denial up then, but they kept 6, it looks like. No, they kept 7. We did draw the land, so that makes me want to wait. Yeah, that makes me want to wait here. I think it's worth it. Yeah. Here's an Ensoul Artifact. I hope whatever they do here costs 2. Oh, it costs 3. That works. Stubborn Denial. So they might not have had an answer there. Or maybe they had 2. Maybe they had Metallic Rebuke and Petty Theft, in which case we'll probably lose if they have a Petty Theft here, or like an Oko, or really anything. We're probably dead. We're out of cards. I think we only mulliganed once this game, but we've used all our cards here. Sigarda's Aid being kind of nothing, and a Quarter Shield being kind of nothing without Sram. Hurting us pretty bad at the moment. Detention Sphere. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. All right. We're going to need to draw really well here. Like Sram would be a good start. Darksteel Citadel, not a good start. This deck, we want to get to 3 maybe, but we really never want to hit 4 lands. We need more threats here, and this game is going to slip away real fast at this rate. Well, I guess we're going to go for it. Yeah, why not? What else are we doing? They probably have a counterspell, but yeah, maybe Spell Queller. Dovin's Veto. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why they weren't doing anything. It's probably because they're sitting on counterspells. Very reactive hand from our opponent, which could be good for us because it could take them some time. Interesting. I am recording a video and yet still got a follow. I am not live right now, so that's kind of cool. paid the 2 life. In this case, yeah, we're just gonna pass. So we did find a hammer, so we have a win when we find a ginger brood or whatever. We just kill them if they leave themselves unguarded. Why did they play that untapped? That's really scary. Is this Elspeth Sun's Champion? I guess that's good if they tap out and then we draw a ginger brood and kill them. Guess I'm fine with that. Oko is good. I guess they wanted to play Oko and still have up Metallic Rebuke. That's probably the move here. So we need to draw a land and a ginger brood at some point. Alright, this is going to be tough. We're going to need some decent draw steps since they're very clearly holding something up. Well, I guess this gets the Metallic Rebuke out of their hand. So that was a good draw. Their hand just might be all Metallic Rebukes though. Oh, it's a Spell Queller. Alright, that works too. Doesn't have haste though. So Ginger Brute is still really, really live here. But we don't have very many turns to figure this out. And they still have 3 cards in hand, which is really scary. Hopefully at least one of those is a land. And the other 2 are not things that interact with what we're doing. Well. They might just have more Spell Quellers and we're just dead. Yeah, they had too much interaction for us this game. Rebuke, Veto, Oko, Spell Queller is just 4 pieces is too much for our draw this game at least. Oh, that's 8. Yep, they got us. All right. Well, not bad though. We went 3-1. And I played 1 match off stream. Or off, not stream, but the recording. So we ended up going 3-2. Not bad though for a first like real league with this build. So hello and welcome to the deck tech for Srammer Time. This is a deck that's kind of all in on connecting with a big creature on turn 2 or turn 3 at the latest. We're trying to play an Ornithopter or a shield or a different shield or one of the 8 shields on turn 1, and then either like play Emery to go find a Colossus Hammer or more shields so we can draw cards off Sram, or we're just playing Ensoul Artifact on our Ornithopter on our shield and attacking for 5 on turn 2. Another thing we can do, and the reason it's called Srammer Time, is we got 4 Sram, Senior Edificer, and then we've got 4 Colossus Hammer to go with 4 Sigarda's Aid. So Colossus Hammer, not a great card on its own. It costs 8 to equip. Kind of hard to do that. Our deck plays 18 lands. There's no way we're getting to 8 mana to equip Colossus Hammer. I mean, it could happen, but it's very unlikely. And basically the way we get that useful and actually able to be equipped is Sigarda's Aid. So this card also works with other cards in our deck since we're playing a lot of equipment and aura spells. Sigarda's Aid says auras and equipments have flash that you cast. And whenever they enter the battlefield, you may attach them to target creature you control. So Colossus Hammer might have equip 8, but it's just a 1 mana +10/+10 when you have Sigarda's Aid in play, which is, pretty good. In Magic, our life total starts at 20. So decent to give your creature +10/+10. As you saw during that league, We were able to do that quite a bit, and really get in there, make our opponents wish they hadn't tapped out. So yeah, I did notice that maybe we were playing too many shields, and we should probably trim some amount of those and maybe play something more impactful like Ghostfire Blade or Stonecoil Serpent and just become more of that type of a deck. I do think, yeah, at least 4 of these shields should become Ghostfire Blades. I think they're probably just better because they're actually something that like makes our Ornithopters decent, makes our Gingerbrutes decent without costing that much. Like 1 mana for Ghostfire Blade isn't that much worse than 0 for Cathar Shield, since we're not like trying to loop into anything. We're not playing Paradoxical Outcome. So I think Ghostfire Blade should probably go in the future. But yeah, basically the deck is trying to play a 0 mana thing on turn 1, or wait until your Sram is in play and draw a bunch of cards, and then find your hammer and aid combo, or just put an Ensoul Artifact on an artifact or an All That Glitters on any of your creatures and just beat them down. Cool thing about Gingerbrute is it has evasion. Cool thing about Ornithopter also has evasion, so we do have a lot of hard to block creatures that are going to be able to get our opponent dead as fast as possible. We're playing 4 Emery to go with the 4 Sram. Pretty good together, and drawing multiple Emerys isn't bad because we can play the second one and just fill up the graveyard so that the first one has more things to do. So you're basically never losing a card on Emery. You're still able to like cast something off it, and it usually only costs 1 mana because we play a lot of artifacts. And then, yeah, Sram, again, not a bad card to draw multiples of because they kill the first one, and then you just draw some more cards with the second one. Yeah, pretty good dude in the deck. We've got 4 Ensoul, 4 All That Glitters, 4 Shield, 4 Other Shield, and 4 Colossus Hammer, all of which are equipments or auras. So that's a solid 20 cards that trigger Sram's draw effect, which is great. And on the board, we've got a bunch of counter spells to go with some Selfless Spirits for Supreme Verdicts and Ritual of Soot, that type of thing. And then Rest in Peace, which is going to come in when we're taking out Emery in order to stop the like Dredge-esque decks and Phoenix and any deck that's like really leaning on the graveyard, because our deck uses the graveyard, but only with Emery. And Emery's not necessary for the deck. It's just a good card with all our artifacts and like being able to recur them. But anytime where Emery's not that great, or I mean not that great, but like anytime where Emery is well, not Emery, but anytime that our opponent is trying to do more graveyard stuff, then we might want to switch out the Emerys for the Rest in Pieces, and then a couple Devout Decree to be able to exile like Sorin and other black problem creatures or red problem creatures. So we have 4 cards for like mono red with Ether Gust and Devout Decree, and then for green we've got Ether Gust and probably some Metallic Rebukes to try and counter their questing beasts and stuff. Graveyard-based strategies. We got Rest in Peace, control or combo or ramp decks. We want the Stubborn Denials. Mid-range also, we probably want the Stubborn Denials against, depending on their build, and maybe Metallic Rebuke as well. And that kind of rounds out what we're trying to do. Only 18 lands, so we didn't want to play anything that costs more than 2, really. And it's pretty streamlined. It's straight and to the point. And yeah, we went 3-1. Pretty happy with that result. Hope that maybe you try it out with some Ghostfire Blades instead of these, and maybe some Stonecoil Serpents instead of the other shields. I think still playing 20 ways to trigger Sram is pretty good. So I think going forward, I'll probably just swap out 4 shields, 2 of each, for 4 Ghostfire Blades, because the shields were easily the worst cards in the deck every game and felt a little out of place. But it was nice to have them when we did have the Sram draws. So, and they do pump up All That Glitters really easily and well. So it's nice to have more 0 drops just to like turn on Emery as well. So yeah, feels pretty good. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see y'all next week on the next edition of Pioneer with Poncelet. Have a great rest of your week.